Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. We're going to talk about race again. Kate from Fightful asked Bobby Lashley a question at the scrum. Now, I did talk about this in my review of AEW's Full Gear, but I didn't want to derail the review to spend a lot of time on this. And I wanted to clarify my thoughts a little bit more. We're going to play the clip of Kate from Fightful asking Bobby Lashley this question. But I also want to say that despite the fact that it was Kate from Fightful who asked the question, I get a sense that the reason she asked this question was because of MVP. Now, we'll talk about that afterwards. But first, let's play the audio of Kate from Fightful asking Bobby Lashley this question. I am going to play it and not interrupt it.
Also, the final question.
Hi, Kate from Fightful. You guys seem very motivated to find gold here, and I just wanted to ask what it was like to come into a company and see so many black champions, and what it meant to challenge right off the bat, essentially, a former black world champion.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that black champion. It's just a champion. See, we've normalized this already, and that's what I want to do with it. You winning a title as a black champion, and there's other black champions here. We can kind of erase that word now. We could just say champion. It could be it could be a black champion. It could be Asian champion. It can be Latin champion. It could be any champion. So we've already normalized that, so we can kind of erase that black champion, and it's just champion now.
All right. So Lashley wants to erase the black part of the champion and just be known as a champion. And the question was clearly a setup. Now, the reason why I made the statements, rather, if this is MVP's fault, is because of the way MVP talked when he left WWE. Now, back in June of 2024, MVP made all of these statements about Triple H emasculating black males, and not wanting to put the Hurt Business back together. Then, once that started spreading around the internet, he backed off and started saying that he didn't call Triple H a racist, but he did say this. Now, my opinion on how he books talent of color, that's a different conversation, but I never said the man was a racist. So, he does agree and continues to believe that Triple H is emasculating black males, but does not think that the man is a racist. Now, put that to the side. That is in the universe now, and has been in the universe for a while, when Kate asked this question. So, since then, Swerve Strickland has won the world title, lost the world title, and now Private Party are the tag team champions. And so the Bliggities have got in the ear of Tony Khan, and he's on a trip about representation and pushing black talent. Several days ago, I did a video about Tony Khan being given a Save the Negroes award by some black podcaster for recognizing the black talent of AEW. My response to that is, he's rewarding people who have already been there for years and years, so it's like, oh, he made Private Party the tag team champions. Well, they were jabronis, 2 months ago. Now they're the champions because we got to have black champions. And I do think that that is offensive, that you didn't see anything in them until the Bliggities got in your ear. And then all of a sudden you're on a push to make sure that everybody can see that you're pushing black guys as a way of, I guess, distracting from some of the other issues that you have. So that is the context in which this question is being asked. Kate is no doubt a woke white woman from Fightful, and she's basically, licking her finger, seeing which way the wind blows, and thinks this is a good question to ask. And she thinks it's a good question to ask because she thinks these guys are going to agree with her that, yes, AEW is actually focusing on pushing black talent while WWE is not. That's the context that we've been given here. That there aren't any black champions in WWE. There haven't been since Triple H took over. And the idea that MVP thinks that Triple H is emasculating black male wrestlers because the only black males you really see are New Day. And so that's the context of when she's asking this question. Now, she may be biased towards AEW, which I'm pretty sure she is. But that's the context here. So now, when Lashley makes the response that we need to just erase the term champion, I saw a lot of the bliggities that were pretty upset about Bobby Lashley saying, well, that's the same thing Triple H said. When Triple H said that he doesn't see color. It's like Lashley didn't say you don't see color. What he's saying is black people being champions is not an aberration. There are other black champions. We've normalized this already. These are not, special cases. This is what it is now. It's normal for a black person to be a world champion. It's normal for a black guy to be a champion. And I think that that's a perfectly reasonable, responsible answer that nukes the woke horse shit from orbit. At the same time, though, a lot of the bliggities don't like that answer because they want the representation. The representation matters. And he didn't say that it didn't. What he's saying is that we've normalized black men being champions. That's what we have done. And if you take into account all the black people who have held championships, it should not be a surprise to anybody that black people are champions. Now, if you want to say that there's not enough, well, what is the answer of, is there not enough? This is what I mean when I did my video before. I said that people are insecure. There's more white wrestlers than black wrestlers as is. All right? There's always going to be more white world champions than black world champions. There's always going to be. So the idea that it's not 1-to-1 is ludicrous. All right? And I chalk this up to insecurity. That through competition and looking at this comparison, constantly comparing yourself group by group, knowing that you're outnumbered in a multitude. Black people are only 13% of the population. Whites are still over 40%. You're outnumbered by a multitude. There are going to be more white champions than black champions. As long as you're not being held down because of your race, you can't help it if everybody doesn't get the same goal, even if you feel that they deserve it. We start getting into the argument of who counts, Like I saw somebody say there's only been 3 black WWE champions. And I'm thinking, for starters, you're erasing the girls. Because now we're saying that the women don't count. So the women don't count. The Rock doesn't count because he's mixed. And then Booker T doesn't count because it wasn't the WWE title. The World Heavyweight Championship was good enough to main event WrestleMania when Triple H had it. It was good enough to main event the WrestleMania when Edge had it. But as soon as Mark Henry gets it, it doesn't matter anymore. That ain't the real belt. You see this? What I mean by this insecurity? You all of a sudden, you devalue it yourself. You have black people devaluing their own fucking achievements just so they can play the victim. Oh, The Rock is mixed. So what? I don't care about The Rock being mixed. Oh, Kofi, man, he comes from Africa. He ain't from the hood. All these excuses just so you can keep the number low on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like a girl, like, oh, I only had sex with 3 guys. How many did you give head to? Like these kinds of things they're ridiculous. It's a ridiculous recurring thing where you'll see people do this stuff in real time on purpose. So now we kind of busted the barrier. Lashley, Kofi, Bobby, Big E. There's been a bunch of black champions. Probably not as many as there should be, but there have been black champions in every promotion. But every wrestling promotion that you can think of off the top of your head, unless they purposefully excluded white people, they have had more white world champions than black ones. Every one. Ring of Honor, I think they've had 2 or 3 throughout their entire 20-year history. TNA's been around for 20 years. They've had 2 the entire time. 3, because Moose, I forgot about Moose. I was thinking Killings, Lashley, and I forgot about Moose. So Moose, 3. Ring of Honor, I think they had Jay Lethal was one of them. The other guy's name is slipping on me, but I know Jay Lethal was Jonathan Gresham. That's 2. And he won the title right before the company went out of business. So, it hasn't been that many. It just hasn't been that many. And then if you go global and look at, Japan and Mexico, you're talking about 1 or 2. Bob Sapp over in Japan. That's it. It's just Bob Sapp. He's the only one. So it's like there's always going to be black males are outnumbered. But it's not about devaluing what you have or that jealousy of what other people have. It's about Lashley saying, we've gotten there now. We've done this already. We've already been through the black world champion. It's an aberration thing. Now we're normalizing it. So this whole thing is nonsensical, and Lashley was right to say we've normalized this already. We're not looking at this from a place of inferiority anymore. We're not looking at this from the position of jealousy and competition. Everybody wants to be the top guy. It doesn't matter what you look like. But he's not saying that representation doesn't matter. He's just saying we've already done that. We've rung that bell already. You can't undo it. Last year has been world champion in 2 different companies. Why would he still feel insecure about how black wrestlers are pushed? He was world champion in WWE and TNA. Why would he feel insecure about that? Now, you could always say, well, there should be more. And I'll say, yeah, I could think of at least 1 or 2 guys in AEW who should probably be top guys and are black dudes. But if they aren't, that's okay. Because, as I said, Tony Khan doesn't know how to pick talent anyway. I could do the same thing in WWE, the Triple H. It is what it is. But I don't come from this from a position of insecurity. Everybody is out to get you. Everybody's victimizing you. That's where Kate is coming from. And she's coming from that position because it was planted in her head by MVP, who had this belief that black males were being emasculated under Triple H, which sounds intentional and does sound racist. Despite the fact that he said, I never called the man a racist. You implied that he was a racist. Come on. So now you got Tony Khan getting the, Save the Bliggities award because all of a sudden he's found the magic of black guys. Okay. If that's what it took, then I'll take it. I'm not going to debate or argue with you. But Lashley answered the question to perfection. This is a stupid conversation. Why we keep having it is because there are the Bliggities. These people are insecure. They compare themselves to white people. They think about white people constantly. They don't understand that they're outnumbered 2-1 when it comes to the population of any given industry, any given business, any given city. They want to sit back and count how many black people are, in a grocery store. Who cares about any of that shit? Individuals are looking for individual success. They should be bettering themselves as individuals so that when their opportunity arises, they can rise to the occasion. This is what individuals should be doing. Whether they're black, Latino, Asian, white, etc. You can still, if you want to take on the desire of representing your race, which white people never do. You never hear a white man say, I'm representing the white race. There's always the Bliggities and the La Raza and all these people. I'm representing my Latino heritage. Like, come on, man. Who cares about that shit? Except, other people who think the same way you do. Most other people just respect you for your talent, and that's it. Your race comes with it. Your sexuality comes with it. Your size comes with it. But if some people don't respect you, it doesn't matter what color you are. And it doesn't matter who you sleep with. Respect follows achievement. You have to achieve first. And you should be focused on achievement. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you guys later.
No one does it better.